All of us have a love-hate relationship with the idea of happiness. We'd all love to have it, and we all hate the fact that we don't. Unhappiness is a common experience. If you were to tally up the entire world's population, at some point in a person's life, around 50% of people are going to have a diagnosable disorder, some sort of mental health challenge. And the remaining half that don't, research shows are barely scratching the surface of feeling good about their life. And there are a lot of reasons for that. And this course is going to be diving in to being able to really provide scientific, evidence-based answers on how a person can improve the happiness that they're experiencing. And we're going to have three goals here. The first, like I said, is how do you become more happy? And we're not going to be offering pithy maxims or airy-fairy ideas here. Everything that's going to be contained in this video series is going to be supported by evidence-based research. Research that psychology professors, researchers, clinicians are discovering, putting forward in peer-reviewed studies, and offering as real, proven solutions to increase happiness. The second goal is understanding what makes us happy and what doesn't. Because one of the main challenges of increasing happiness is that 9 times out of 10, the things that we think make us happy really don't. And the things that we believe won't make us happy actually do. There's a lot of paradox involved in increasing happiness. And the last goal is, like I said, to provide the evidence of what actually makes us happy so that you can feel the assurance of what you're doing actually has a shot of working, that you're not wasting your time. Because I think that there's a fair amount of feelings of being discouraged that surround this topic that make up that love-hate relationship. I'm going to be providing easy to follow, step-by-step descriptions of what you can do, practical skills to increase your happiness. And there's going to be 3 basic problems here we're going to have to overcome, and I think it's fair to put them on the table right now. The first, like I said, there's a lot of airy-fairy suggestions out there of what can make you happy. You know, if you were to collect all the self-help books on increasing happiness, most have little to no evidence to support their ideas. You know, classic is think positively. In fact, in the 1960s, that was the motto, the happiness crescendo that everybody was singing. And research shows that actually makes people more miserable. That thinking happy thoughts and denying yourself thinking negative ones, well, that's called thought suppression. And a person's going to get hit by the boomerang effect. That whatever thoughts you're suppressing are only going to come back much harder. These suggestions are not going to be airy-fairy. They're not going to have the same track record as earlier suggestions that had no evidence to them. So that's problem number 1. Increasing happiness has a bad track record, and I'm admitting that right up front. And like I said, there are reasons why. Problem number 2 is, when a person does go through different wisdom traditions, there are actually a lot of good suggestions contained in them. But they often sound too vague, in many ways actually mysterious, that they actually lack relevance to an individual's life. And as we go through all the different skills that you can develop to increase your happiness, one thing that you're going to have to bear in mind is not all of them are going to work for you, not because they don't work per se, but there's things you have to, these are skills you have to build into your life, and everybody's life context, everyone's life situation is different. So happiness is something that needs to not just be worked hard towards, but needs to be tailor-made. Generalities don't cut it. And the last problem is that a lot of people believe that pursuing happiness is naive. It's a pipe dream. And in many ways, that's true, if all we have to go by is bad suggestions, bad self-help books, anecdotal evidence. Increasing happiness isn't going to work for most people. There's no magic pill. There's no snap of the fingers. Increasing happiness is probably going to be the hardest thing that you're going to have to do in your life to begin with. Because learning any new skill is difficult. Like riding a bike. It's not as though you got on that bike and you were able to figure it out on the first try. It's something that requires a lot of work. It's going to mean you're going to fall down 1 or 2 times. But the more that you put these skills, these practices into your life, the happier you will become. That's the happiness challenge. The science of making life worth living. I hope you enjoy the series, and I'll see you in the next video.